Hey crafty cuties, welcome back to my channel. It has been a wild week. So as of right now, it's February 20th, 2021. Wild. And I live in Texas. Disgusting, I know. But this week, I don't know if you heard, but we had like crazy ice storms and really cold temperatures, and honestly not crazy. It's global warming in it, but it's just like everything just went wrong. Like everyone's power was out, and then everyone's water was out, and they told us to boil our water even though we didn't have water or electricity to boil it. So I've been kind of dealing with that all week. Things are pretty much back to normal. I've had power since 2 days ago, and I just got water today. But in that whole time, I thought about, wow, it's cold. And I don't know if you can tell, but I also got a haircut. I don't really like having short hair. I guess it looks fine. But I have for a while, like, I don't like wearing beanies, or I just typically don't. I didn't ever think of myself as like a beanie guy. But I also noticed that babies get the cutest beanies, and it makes me so upset because I want those beanies. Like, I'll put up a picture here. Like, they get beanies that are shaped like fruit, like lemon beanie, raspberry beanie, probably some other cute ones that I can find and put here. And I personally love lemons. I drink lemonade every single day. I need a lemon beanie to keep me warm in these trying times. And every single pattern out there is for babies, like newborn babies, like not preemie, but like less than a year old. And like, that's not gonna fit this head. My head's way bigger than a baby's. So I'm appropriating baby culture this week, and I'm going to make myself a lemon beanie. So I'm just gonna kind of base it off of a baby beanie pattern and just kind of make it bigger. I'll write out a pattern in the description. We're gonna try to make a lemon beanie. Okay, so I have done the first 11 in the magic ring, and I found out like the magic ring really wants to stretch out when you do a lot more than like the normal standard 6 or 8 in it. So I would just I just tightened as I went. And a lot of these, they like join with a slip stitch, but I made a giant basket before that kind of did that thing where you worked in the round and joined with a slip stitch. And the whole way up it, maybe it's because it was color changing yarn, but I know that you'd be able to see it anyways, there was a diagonal shift. I can actually show you. So I don't have that basket with me, but I do have this. It's a fingerless glove that I made a while back. It was made in the round where you slip stitch the ends together. So yeah, as you can see, this right here is where they're joined, and it's not super noticeable, but you can see like these are like the normal stitches, and this is where it's joined. It's just a lot closer together. Like, I don't want that, so I'll probably just like try to avoid it by not joining with a slip stitch and just joining with going into the next one as if it was amigurumi. And I know it's gonna be slanted because of that, but also I'd rather be slanted than have a big diagonal gash that's gonna eventually go to the front with how big it's gonna be. I think this is big enough. Like, it looks like it's at the biggest part of my head, I think. It's 88 stitches. So now I guess I'll just go until it's about the length I want, which I don't even know. I don't even know beanie lengths. Yeah, I don't. I just straight up don't know how long beanies should be. So I'm just gonna crochet around this until it gets to a nice beanie length. So yeah, like I had said, it's been a pretty crazy week here in Texas. Not a very fun one. I had gone home the previous weekend from my campus. It's about 3 hours from where I live. So I went back for like Valentine's weekend. I saw a few friends. And then I drove back like the next like Sunday morning because I knew it was gonna be icy and I didn't want it to get any worse on like that long drive. So the morning I got up and my car was absolutely covered in ice. I was like, okay, I'm leaving, and then I went out to my car and it's like, actually no, I spent 20 minutes trying to get ice off of my car. Then I go back to campus. It takes double the amount of time that it normally takes. Um, and like the first half was super scary. Well, not really scary, but just like concerning because there was ice like on bridges and under overpasses, and like I could feel the car like slide and like me actually lose control of it, which wasn't very fun. Halfway through, the ice was gone and I was like, hell yeah, this is fine, this is great. And then the next day, no one had electricity and barely anyone had water. Actually, I don't know, I think water actually went away a few days later, but I didn't have any water on campus, so I went to stay at one of my friends' places that had water, but they didn't have electricity. So then I stayed at one of my friends' places who had electricity, and it was absolutely awful time. I did get a lot of crochet done though. I've been working on a pillowcase and I think it's coming along nicely. But you know, I typically love the cold, and honestly, I still love the cold aspect of this time, but I don't love being without electricity and power. Call me crazy. Oh, and on top of that, since you didn't have like water and you couldn't go to the grocery store and every fast food place was closed and your refrigerators didn't work to keep your food cold, you just like didn't get to eat for, I think I probably had maybe one meal every day, and that meal was small. And for the first few days without electricity, I would just be going to sleep when the sun went down because I straight up couldn't see anything. Even with like candlelight, it was still just so dark, and it was like, also, what do you do? I also realized that I had it better than a lot of people did. Being able to stay at a place with electricity at all is something that a lot of people weren't able to do. And like in the middle of a pandemic, also having to go to so many different people's places was not something that I wanted to do, frankly. It's either the cold or the corona is going to kill you, and the cold will kill you first. So also, like, I did try to go to the grocery store at some point because we needed water once the pipes went out, and I had to wait in line for like an hour and a half just to get in there. And luckily when got there, they did still have water and stuff. But I went to the grocery store yesterday too because like I said, everything in the refrigerator just went bad and I needed groceries, and they were still sold out of so many things, like no bread, no bottled water. Progress check. It looks like a beret, and I'm hoping I'll have enough yarn for it. This is like, it's still a pretty sizable yarn ball. I do have a worry that this thing is maybe going to be a bit flat. I know one thing that I'm going to add to make it look more like a lemon is like the little nub of the lemon, that like the little bump out, and it'll probably just be like a separate piece that I sew on top. Oh, on top of losing power and water, I like hurt myself twice. Like the first day, when I drove to campus, the next morning I left, like I said, to go over to a person who had water because I didn't have water on my campus. And like when I went out to my car, I slipped and fell on the ice. I hurt my knee and my elbow, and my knee still is pretty scraped up. And my elbow just, no, it still hurts when I tap it against stuff, but it's hurting a lot, like not constantly anymore at least. And then like a couple days later, when we were staying at when I was staying with the person who had power, I was cooking something and they didn't have oven mitts, or at least I didn't know where they were. And so I just straight up burned myself on a pan trying to use a dish rag as like an oven mitt. So it's just been a real bang up week over here. Okay, so currently we're right here. I think it's like a decent length. I might go one more row. I decreased it by 4. It was at 88, so now it's at 84 because I thought it was a bit loose. I think it's maybe still a bit loose. So I might do one more row and then another decrease row. If it starts getting too long, I might just leave it at one more row. I don't think it'll have like that ridge that beanies usually have because it's a lemon. but maybe I'll give it like maybe I'll change up the stitch or something so it just does look like a finished edge. I think I've got my beanie to a good length. As you can maybe see, I did have to work in a few decreases, so it's a bit bumpy in areas, which is not ideal, but I wasn't about to rip out all of my work just to go back a row. I had it at 88, I think is what I told you guys, but 77 is right for my head. I would just say rule of thumb to go 1 row of increases less than you think, because like especially with double crochets, this thing is super stretchy. So I'm just pulling all my hair, but yeah, this thing is just super stretchy, so like there's no need to make the initial circle as wide as your head because it's just going to stretch out and then it'll fit on a bit better. Like you can see mine's a bit loose. I did the little single crochet ridge to kind of just finish it off, and I also added the little lemon nub. I kind of have to wear it like this, and then I can't even see out of it for it to be on the top of my head. It looks kind of silly, but I think it looks fine. So now I guess I want to do a little leaf for it, so like you can tell it's a lemon and not just like, or at least you'll get like more of a fruity vibe, or like a nature vibe, instead of just thinking it's a beanie with a weird little nub on top. Okay, you guys, here it is. Wow, doesn't it look like a lemon beanie? I mean, I think it looks pretty good. Like, when I put it on, I think the little nubbin is maybe a bit tall, but like, I like the way the leaf drapes. I think that helps with like the lemon. I don't know how warm it is. It's not particularly cold in my room, so I can't say if it's making me any warmer. But you know, I think it's cute. Like, I think it turned out pretty good for like what I wanted. If I did it again, I would make it shorter, and I would maybe make this a bit rounder sooner, because instead of going round, I kind of made it go oval, but that makes it seem like a bit tall. I think the leaf looks really nice. I kind of just altered someone else's leaf pattern, but I'll put my version of it in the description. So if you're gonna follow the pattern in my description, I would suggest to do it a bit shorter. The decrease rows are not necessary. I did them because, like I said, mine was too wide before. I would just say to try to do it from the start. Don't do any decrease rows, and then stop when it's long, as long as you want it. I had to do decrease rows so it wasn't going to be super baggy, but now it's super long. But I think it's still fun and cute. Overall, I would say mission pretty much accomplished. I took that baby's beanie and I made it my own. Lemons are my favorite, so had to do the lemon beanie first. This is fun. Follow this pattern in the description if you want. I did use polyfill here. I didn't write that down, but I did use polyfill to stuff the little nub. And you can change this to be a lime, maybe even an orange if you just don't put on the nub. But then I guess it's just an orange beanie, isn't it? The pattern for this is in the description. Follow it if you would like. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more crochet and DIY based content. And I will see you guys in the next video.